Hey, it's Panda, and welcome to this Mabinogi Crom 100 tutorial. So, if you're watching this and you want to get into running Crom 100, but you don't have Crom unlocked, here are the requirements for Crom. You need a total combat skill level of 1500 plus, and you need to clear the waves amidst the Calm quest. So, if you haven't ran any Crom before, I do recommend maybe trying out a Crom 30 and seeing how you do. But ultimately, it really depends on who else is in the party. Maybe you're running with three other people who have done Crom 100 before, then you're probably going to be fine. So, for example, in this video, it's actually Lee's first time doing Crom 100, and overall, I thought he did a really good job. So, this could definitely be maybe your experience when you first do Crom 100 as well. Before entering Crom, I definitely recommend you bring full recovery potions and party phoenix feathers. These are really good to have in case you are the last one alive. You can just pop that real quick and revive everyone in the party. The techniques that I run for Crom are usually Blunting Field, Redoubled Offensive, Dampen Shock, Vital Surge, and Fate Weaver. I love running with Vital Surge on because there are some rooms in Crom in which you cannot take any potions. For this first room, we're just killing mobs, and then when we're done, we are taking the red circle for Crom 100. If we were doing Crom 30, we would take the green circle. For Crom 100, the pathing is basically all red plus mechanics, is what I usually say. So, like for the mechanics, that would be doing the Crom math and saving the prisoners. And I will go over those mechanics when we get there. Say if you wanted to do like a Crom 60, I would say the pathing is all red, but no mechanics. Oh yeah, also important reminder to pop your power pots and to also summon your doll bags. For this room, same thing, just killing mobs. If you were doing Crom 30, you're probably used to just killing the mobs and then stepping on the green circle, then going to the next room. But since we are doing Crom 100, we need to do the mechanic in this room. So you see that orb in the middle of the room? We need to hit that to spawn mobs, and every time we kill a wave of mobs, I get a messy note in my inventory, and only the party leader will get the messy notes. Different Crom parties will do different things here. Some parties will only hit the orb 4 times, and then what they will do is they will guess the last word, since the last word can only be one of 5 options. Yeah, sorry my inventory is a little messy, but we hit the orb a total of 5 times, so that's why I have 5 messy notes in my inventory. We need to do the math in this room because obviously you don't see a red circle. By solving this equation is how we will get a red circle to spawn. So you see me hovering over the messy notes and I am reading them. On a messy note, you can see that it says 1 parentheses 20. On another note, it says 2 parentheses 7. Another note says 3 parentheses 62. Another note has 1 plus 2 plus 3. And the very last note I have says last embolic. Basically, the parentheses means an equal sign. If that math was a little hard for you to follow along, or you just really don't feel like doing math, there is a Crom calculator on the Mabinogi wiki, and you can just plug in your numbers and it will calculate it for you, which is super nice. So shout out to whoever made that. Or you could just do what I do and just make sure someone else is party leader when you go inside a Crom so you don't have to do the math. So for this room, same thing, we're just killing mobs here. In this room, we will be taking the yellow circle. If you have been doing other Croms before this, you've probably let the citizens die, but this time we actually need to save the citizens. So what we're going to do is we go down to the end of the hallway, we'll place down red seals. I like using Grudge of Tuan. It's a Tuan skill that slows down mobs. You can have DDs pop vortexes, If you have a puppetry set, this is where I often see puppetry mains pop off here, and they group the mobs so that they're easy to kill. We will be killing mobs for a total of 16 waves here, and then after that, we'll be taking the red circle. Same thing in this room, we are just killing mobs here. In the bigger rooms, kind of like this one, grouping becomes very important for the party. Down the line, these rooms are going to become harder and there's going to be way more mobs. So if you're not grouping well, then your party is going to be overrun, and that may cause your whole party to wipe. I recommend making sure that you are death marking a mob, preferably like a Kari, just because those are more tankier, and using maybe vortexes if you have a DD, having an astrology set in which you can use to help pull mobs together is also really good as well. And then after all these mobs are defeated, we will be taking the red circle again. Yeah, so here you can see I'm having a really fun time getting thundered and wave the guns, 10 out of 10 experience.
Oh, so can you equip the scythe, please?
I don't want to talk about it, but I might have been hitting with my handicraft kit.
Alrighty.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh no,
Oh,
Gamsey's here! Dude, I don't hear what people doing because I have the streamer mode on. Oh.
There's that staff.
Okay, so for this room, we are taking the red circle again, and then you are going to see Xanta hit 3 bells around the room. And basically what this does is it makes the room after Irasan have less waves for us, which makes us do that room a lot faster. This room is the exact same as any other Crom. Basically what you do is you are making sure that the mobs are going into those like black clouds on the ground, because they will only take damage inside of that black clouded area while somebody is walking the path and going from person to like person. Right before the last mob dies, we usually time Anchor Rush just so we don't get Wraith Roared, so we can summon our pets to help group the mobs onto the gray areas. Here we take the red circle again. This is the room right before Irisan. It can be a very tough room if your party is not good at grouping. Grouping is extremely important in this room because so many mobs spawn. What I like doing for this room, since I play DD, is I usually put a vortex down in the center of the room first, and then I go to one of the top corners and wind blast those mobs into the vortex. In this room, it is also very important that we are doing as many debuffs as we can on the mobs to kill them faster so that we don't get overrun. For this room, the first and second waves are not as bad. It's usually the third and fourth wave that will wipe out teams. If you find that your party is struggling on the third and fourth wave in this room, I definitely recommend just having someone in the party prag, just so you kill the mobs faster. On the third wave in this room, I usually also like to use a meteor. If there is a DD in your party, you can also have them hex the third and fourth wave. For this run, this room went really well. But the other one we did, well, you guys could just see how that went. Yeah, this run was a little scuffed, but what we like to say in Severe, or what I like to say is, if it isn't scuffed, then it's not severe. And this is where those party phoenix feathers that I told you to get before the run come in handy, just for situations like these. And then in this room, you see us hit all four bells. In this room, we are taking the red circle again, and it is important to note that the next room is Irisan. Irisan can be pretty spicy, kind of depends on what mood Irisan's in. Um, you definitely want to make sure you are debuffing her. So that means putting on Fate Weaver, Death Mark, Smokescreen, Starlight Veil, Cats, anything you can think of, just put it on her. I like to also prag Irisan, so you will see me do that. When you see that Irisan is debuffed well, everyone will then attack. Make sure you're watching out for her beams and for her Shasha. How the Irisan fight goes really comes down to how much damage your party has. If your party has a lot of damage, then you will probably find yourself completely skipping all the hit checks, which is awesome. For this run, we do not do any hit checks because we killed her before then, but it was pretty close. When I see the chain guys spawn, I usually like to vortex them because they can become very annoying. I will show you another run we did where we did not skip the hit check. What I look for is when the cauldron gets to 30, if I'm getting a vibe that we're probably not gonna kill Irisan by then, I go and do cauldron. In case someone hasn't seen the Crom minigame before, I'll just explain it. So basically, when this pop-up right now gets on your screen, you just spam left, right, left, right, left, right, like arrows on your keyboard. And then what you'll do is, hopefully you have a ragdoll in your inventory. You will start hitting Irisan with that ragdoll so that it summons, and then what I like to do is then use Wave the Gun. Yeah, so we failed the minigame there. I had a Phoenix on, so that's why I revived. I definitely recommend getting a Phoenix if you don't have one. They are super nice to have. Here we successfully do the minigame, and then you are going to see us get the minigame again because we're at the 25 marker. So yeah, that was kind of like two ways on how the Irisan fight usually goes. It's either pretty clean, or either just kind of scuffed and lots of minigames, or just constantly getting transformed because you have too many mobs out. It just ultimately depends on your party. After Irisan, we take the only available circle, which is yellow. In this room, we only get 4 waves because we hit those bells prior. If we didn't hit bells, we would have gotten 6 waves in this room. If you forgot to hit bells, no worries, this room will just be a little bit longer. Sometimes I do hear of parties pragging this room just to make it go faster. And then the room after this is glass, so they prag glass as well. Here we take red again, and now it's time for glass. We will damage glass to 90%, which will then cause heads to spawn. The heads are basically like these little purple floaty things, and if they get near you, they will explode. They can kill you, or send you into deadly, or if you have a lot of health and you have mana shield on, they'll just hurt. We need to do this mechanic with the heads, so basically before they explode, you use spinning slasher on them, which will cause them to stop spawning. After you do the mechanic, you want to place the head in a corner of the room, basically somewhere where someone isn't going to accidentally summon a pet, because when they do that on top of a head, it will desummon. You know, this is where not having Dan 3 spinning slasher comes to hurt me. When fighting Glass, it's important you are dodging these like red beams or any of the AoEs that he does, or else you will get erg beamed. And what happens when you get erg beamed is you cannot summon pets, which hurts when you are going to do disciples. At 80%, disciples will spawn. So with disciples, they must always be killed in a Z-shaped pattern. The color order in which they spawn will always change, but the order in which you kill them will not. Here you see me starting with the top left disciple, which is red. It is strong against melee damage, so I am able to kill it because I am a DD. The top right disciple is gray, which we need to do next, but I can't do it because it's strong against magic, so I let the EKs handle it. You just saw me do the blue disciple. It is strong against range, so I can kill it as DD. And then the last one is yellow, which is weak to pets, so you have people on their pets attacking it. It's important to note that if you got hit by one of Glass's attack prior, you can't summon a pet, so you can't do yellow disciple. When you hear people ask if you want to do an 80 burst, what they mean is after the disciples, when he kneels, everyone uses exploit weakness and time shift, but since he fell in the middle of the room for us, we can't do an 80 burst. If he fell on the outside, we definitely could have did an 80 burst. By him falling in the middle of the room and by us damaging him, mobs are going to spawn, like the Karis, and the Karis make it so we do no damage to him, basically. There's a high chance that during your run, you're going to see these black holes. So there is an audio cue for them, and there are also these purple circles that represent where they're going to be at.
Hey, black holes. Very cool.
Hey.
You're good, you're good. Don't worry about it, Lee.
Oh, good.
No, 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 no!
Oh!
Are you?
Oh.
Okay, alright, dude. Alright. As soon as I started debuff, I fucking hate this guy, dude.
Yeah, so these black holes are an instant death if they hit you. So definitely be careful. So another phrase you may hear in Crom is, "Do you want to fish?" And that doesn't mean go grab your fishing pole and bait. No, that means we are trying to see if he can kneel for us again so that we can burst him. Here you see us fishing for that kneel. You see that we are keeping those debuffs on him just in case that after he jumps, he kneels. Here he kneels, and so you see me pop exploit weakness and time shift, and I also place a vortex down to keep the mobs in the center so they don't come towards us and mess up our burst. This was pretty much a 50 burst, which is also a common way to do Glass. basically, what we could have also done was damage him to 50, spawn disciples, did disciples, and then after disciples, he will always kneel, and then we could have just bursted him then as well. It's ultimately just up to the party. After clearing your first Crom 100, you are given the Usurper of the Abyssal Throne title, which gives you these stats. And that pretty much concludes the video. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. But other than that, I hope everyone has a great day. If there's ever any content that you would like to see, just let me know. Alright, I will see you guys later. Bye.